and welcome to the Knuckleball Prime Time, live from the Barn Studio in Southeast Missouri. You got the Mocs here, and I'm joined with a special guest. We have the offensive coordinator for the SEMO Redhawks, Mr. Jeromy McDowell. Jeromy, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Doing really good. Full disclosure here, we are buddies. We're pals. We've known each other since we're kids, wee little guys.
Long time. Yes, sir.
Even played a little ball together back in the day. Maybe that'll come up at some point in our conversation here. But offensive coordinator for the SEMO Redhawks, this is your sixth, seventh year we just wrapped up?
Yeah, sixth. Yep, I've been there 6 years. Time's flying, for sure.
And I'd say you guys have had quite the successful run down there. You actually played at SEMO at one point and kind of been a part of the SEMO family one way or the other for many, many years. And there's been some lulls and some success, but I would say since you guys have been there, since Coach Tuke has been there, really turned the program around.
Yeah. You know, we got there, or my family got there in 2018, so this is year 6. And in those 6 seasons, you know, 3 of those years we were able to make the playoffs and do some pretty unique things from SEMO standpoint. Like you mentioned, I played there, so I can speak on, you know, the struggles and different things through the years. And really, SEMO football was irrelevant for so long, even though there's a lot of good people involved with the program trying to get it on its feet. But Coach Tuke has done a great job, and we've been fortunate and very proud of, you know, all the work we put in over the 6 years and what we've been able to accomplish. And this past season, you know, it wasn't what we wanted, and so, you know, we're already back in the office and starting to grind for next season and trying to, you know, get back on the right track. And we have the right people, I do believe, to get that done and get back, you know, on our feet. And so it's exciting that way, you know, you kind of get refreshed and get to go attack a new project. So it's that time of year for recruiting, all that stuff, and time to turn the page.
And I know the Cape area has come out and supported you guys. They're happy for this success. You have new additions to the stadium, and the crowds are way different than some of the games that I've been to in the past years where there wasn't a whole lot of crowd. They're doing tailgates now, and it seems like an exciting time for Cape.
Yeah, they've put a lot of work in, they being, you know, the supporting cast and the administration, and they've done a lot of things to try to get the game day experience and not just the game, you know, an event. And so there's been a lot of excitement leading up to the season and during the season and the games and whatnot. But yeah, you know, the new stadium, and they've invested, and I think they're going to continue to invest in some different projects that will help us in recruiting and will help us take the program to, you know, not just a regional success, but trying to get on the national scene and make some more noise in the, you know, deeper run in the playoffs and really build the SEMO brand for the whole athletic department. So there's a lot of good things going on down there, not just football, but, you know, we want to try to do our part.
And we sort of talked a little bit off air about, obviously, a good friend of mine and my wife is a graduate of SEMO. I have good friends that have kids playing down there for you. So I try to follow you guys as much as I can, but our studio is about an hour and a half away. But one thing that's really been helpful with that is the ESPN Plus. It allows for us to see games when you're playing in Rhode Island and you're playing all over the country. Do you think that's been some of the part of the success of maybe alumni tuning in and be able to keep track of SEMO?
You know, I think so. How big, I have no idea, but you do hear alumni and fans and different things, you know, talking about how ESPN Plus has been a big part of following our program and games and everything. And, you know, even when we go and sit down in front of a family when we're recruiting their son, and maybe they're in Alabama or, you know, several hours away, we can guarantee them that, you know, all their games will be broadcast live and everything. And so that's been helpful for sure. And you know, it was also nice last season. You know, we made it to the playoffs, and we go out to Montana in the first round, and they pick one game per round for FCS football to be on, you know, ESPN. And they picked us a night game at Montana. So we got that exposure. So again, just trying to build the SEMO brand and trying to do our part to win football games and then the whole experience, and then just, you know, compounds. And then, you know, obviously our basketball team last year made the tournament, and our volleyball team and baseball team, everybody's kicking butt. So just to be a part of that group and keep having success. So that's what we're about.
Maybe one of the misconceptions about coaching is off season. Because, you know, the season just wrapped, obviously, for you guys. But I would say really it's kind of like go to work kind of time right now, right?
Yeah.
It's a 12-month thing, right?
Yeah, man. It's there's a lot of people like my wife's friends and stuff are like, well, what's Jeromy doing now since, there's no more football? You guys just you got your weekends free and all this stuff. And like you said, it's a year-round gig, and right now we are pedal to the metal recruiting. We do have this couple days off with Thanksgiving since we're not playing, but in the past years when you're in the playoffs, you practice on Thanksgiving. You have a Thanksgiving meal with the team and with the coaches' families and everything, and that's a really special time too, because that's a lot of memories and different things, and build the camaraderie. So not having a chance to do that this season kind of stings a little bit, but you do get to be with your own family for these couple days. But as soon as we get back in the office, basically next week, we are 100 mile an hour with visits, official visits, and on the road during the week, and maybe fly back in for a quick visit on Wednesday, fly back out, and then fly back in for a Saturday, Sunday visit. You got like 3 weekends to get it all done before that first signing day period. I think it's December 20th. And so we try to sign all our guys then. Last year we didn't sign any recruit in February, the traditional time. So Coach Tuk's philosophy is if they want to be a Red Hawk, then they're going to jump on now, and they're not going to wait for something, bigger and better. So we've had some good success with that, and we're trying to get some mid-year guys that can help us next year. And then, not to mention, the whole portal thing now is really, really turning recruiting upside down. And, I think everyone's trying to figure out where they fit in with that. And, we're no different. We're trying to figure out where our niche is there. In the past, we haven't been a big transfer type of program. We like the 4-year guys, the true program builder type of guys. But, it's shifting quickly. And so we're trying to balance that out and see where we fit in with that.
This might not be the best way to put it, but is it a necessary evil? Is it a necessary part of the game that you have to play or get left behind kind of thing?
I think we're finding that out. We are. I think that's it. Again, so, we don't want to jerk the wheel, I don't think, because I think the best thing that we have at SEMO compared to, other FCS programs is legit, like our culture and our people. Like, I know that's kind of like a hot word, culture. People kind of throw that around, but the best thing that we have is our people and what we have going on inside of our program. Coach Tuk's done a great job, in recruiting. Sometimes we have tough conversations where we really want a kid because of his talent, but he may not fit into what we believe. Maybe he's a little bit extra selfish or this or that or whatever, and he just says no. And it's tough at the time. And we've learned we've had some hard lessons learned through that too. But I think that's just the culture piece, and the people in our program is what makes us a little bit different than others.
Is recruiting something that you get better at the more you do it? You're going on many years at this level. Do you feel like you're better at it now than maybe when you first started?
I'm sure I am. Naturally, I'm not like a real outspoken type of guy, but at the end of the day, I believe that you just have to be you. Like we don't try to sell anything. When we bring these guys on visits, official visits, these next few weekends, we're just showing you who we are. We're not trying to sell you on anything. Like, if you say yes to us, we want you to know what you're saying yes to. And we're evaluating them as well when they're on those visits. So, it's a two-way street, and it's all about the fit. When it comes to recruiting.
I think it's pretty noticeable that you've recruited this area, your hometown, right? We're in the Farmington, Bonne Terre, Deloge area.
Yeah.
There's some kids that are from this area that are down there, and maybe even a little bit further into the region.
Yeah.
You have a couple North County kids down there, one being our good buddy, Jerry Reed's son, Nolan Reed. Andrew Civey, I believe, was a North County kid. You got a Farmington kid, I think, down there as well. Is that important to you to at least look at your hometown area first?
Yeah. One thing that I've been blessed with is that Coach Tuk has put me – so each coach has a recruiting area. And my area, he's put me in – basically we say local, which basically means down to the bottom of Missouri on the east side up to St. Louis. So, within an hour and a half to 2 hour radius of Cape, basically. And it's important to me. Being a former high school head coach and being from this area, I've been on the other side of those conversations where, man, I thought I had a kid from high school that he deserved a shot, and whether I felt like he got a a fair shot or not. I just wanted to make sure that at least I gave kids in this area a good look. And I'm sure, obviously I'm not right all the time, but at least I want to give them that opportunity where I'm getting their film or them, in camps and stuff in front of our coaches so they can get evaluated first, and then we go from there. And Coach Tuke also has done a great job and has a heart for local people, just, again, wanting them to buy into SEMO and being a Red Hawk and basically waving the flag for this community or for the area or for the local, local areas. So, yeah, it's important to me, and I think we've done a good job, and I think we will continue to do a good job and sign some guys fairly close most years.
And you also help with the quarterbacks. You're the quarterbacks coach as well. Just looking at your roster, and I know a couple of them played for you this year, most of your quarterbacks from Missouri as well.
Yeah. When I first got there in 2018, I thought that was the biggest need that the offense, what they were missing was just, you got to have a good quarterback, especially this day and age. And I was able to get a transfer from Northern Illinois that his brother had played for Coach Tuke. But besides that, for the most part, all the rest of the guys through the years, and like you said, this year, have been guys from Missouri. The starting quarterback for me right now that started last year and most of this year until he got injured is a kid out of Camdenton. And then another kid that played a lot of snaps for me this year is from CBC. And even a true freshman that got a few snaps is up from the Kansas City area. So, yeah, all three quarterbacks that got snaps this year were all Missouri guys. So, definitely if a Missouri kid comes across my email or, if I get to see him in camp or whatever, I'm going to take a good look and make sure, because I don't want to miss if I can. I want to do a good job with that.
Your quarterback, Paxton DeLaurent, at some point in the season went down with an injury. Is it the next man up mentality? Is that what is that the mindset going into the rest of the season?
It is, but it's still hard. I mean, it's easy to say, maybe I'm biased, but I think that the toughest position in all of sports is the quarterback. And so, if an inside linebacker goes down and you go with the next guy, it is next man up. But the quarterback position is just a little bit different. But that is, at the end of the day, still, you got to have guys ready and everything. And, Patrick Heitart was our backup from CBC. He did a good job, still, has room for improvement. And so it's still just not the same. Paxton's a really special quarterback. He's older. He's a junior this year. And, if he can stay healthy and get a little stronger in different things, he may have a shot, at the next level, at least, to make some noise. He is so smart and can process things faster than any quarterback that I've been around. And so he's pretty special, and Patrick has a lot of intangibles that can help him be successful and us be successful. It's just, he's still just a freshman. So it is the next man up. It's just tough, and we got to do a better job as we continue forward.
How would you best describe your offense? I mean, and what are some of the keys that make it work? Obviously, you run a version of the spread, although I wouldn't say it's true spread. It seems more like maybe some kind of hybrid.
Yeah.
How would you describe your offense?
When people throw around the word spread, it kind of makes me cringe a little bit because it kind of breeds softness, and that's about as far from what we are, or what we want to be. We are 11 personnel. We base out 11 personnel, which just means one back and one tight end. And we attach him probably more than most people do. A lot of people still use him as like that H-back type of guy. And we do some of that as well. And we'll still split him out and stuff. But we're kind of if you want to say a power spread, that we're going to run the ball and be physical, but we're also going to be super aggressive in the pass game. So all of our run stuff, guys are firing off, and quarterbacks have the option to throw it out on the perimeter, kind of now screen type of stuff, basically pre-snap decisions. I'm not a big post-snap decision type of guy, like a true ride the running back and read the linebacker RPO guy, because then you got to be a little bit soft up front because guys can't go downfield as far and different things like that. Yeah. I want the offensive line and tight ends and different things to come off the ball and stab people. That's what I want. And so I want to play physical. If they're loading the box, we'll get a ball out in the perimeter, and then we're going to play action and push the ball vertical. We've had multiple receivers since I've been there. have time in the NFL. We've got explosive receivers. One guy, Christian Wilkerson, still with the Raiders right now on the active roster, broke all the SEMO receiving records in 18 and 19 for us. Another guy, Johnny King, he was at camp with the Colts for a while. And the Eagles, he caught touchdown pass preseason with the Eagles. And then we have another kid right now, I say kid, young man, Ryan Flournoy, that we've had every scout through multiple times in the last 2 seasons. They're saying anywhere from 5th to 7th round, but he's definitely going to get a shot. And you talk about a kid that works and is tough, and he plays receiver, which you don't see that all the time. A lot of times you see like a lot of diva type of stuff.
Yeah.
He's far from that. So, man, I'm his biggest fan just because he's so tough. And, he broke his hand week 2 or 3 this season. He had we opened up at Kansas State. He had 10 catches. We play Lindenwood week 2. He's got 10 catches in the first quarter. And he broke his hand, got stuck. He was stiff-arming a kid and broke his hand, got stuck in a face mask like right at the end of the first quarter. And he was out for, a handful of weeks. And he comes back and does everything he can to, help us try to be successful and get back on the winning track and everything. Even this last game that meant nothing, we could fly out to Rhode Island and play Bryant University. Doesn't mean anything for either team. And Ryan's right there leading the charge. And he had every reason not to play. And I just, guys like that, you just root for and you appreciate. So we got a lot of guys like that in our program. That's why I just, I'm definitely just waving the SEMO flag right now just because of the people in our program.
Here, we got this. Like that. Studio audience. Kind of talk about pre-snap reads being important to you guys. With defenses being better at disguising what they're actually doing, how do you stay on top of what defenses are doing? But as well as you have to know offense, do you also have to know defense, maybe even more?
You better know it because, what they're doing is trying to stop you and make you alter what you're trying to do. So, yeah, you have to have a good idea. I think the best thing for that type of stuff, at least for me or the staff that I've been on, the staffs I've been on, is actually going and spending time with actual staffs. Last year we went down to Dallas and we spent a couple of days with the SMU staff, was at their practices and sat in their meeting rooms and just spent a couple of days with them and just went through stuff. And they picked our brain, we picked their brain, and it was just good stuff. And we took some stuff from them and made us evaluate and think about how we're doing some different things. And, I think that's been the best form of development, for the most part. And you have buddies that you get to know throughout the years that are now scattered out through the nation. And just talking with them, one of my best friends is the corners coach at Colorado State. And just seeing what they're doing, they're playing prime time or whatever, and just talking about that and talking about their different, their pressure cover 3 team and so different than what he's been around and why does he like it, why not, and just trying to take those type of nuggets and stuff. But yeah, back to the pre-snap thing, we are a form of tempo too, so we'll multi-tempo, but a good heart of each drive or chunks of the drives were pretty fast tempoed. So we try to limit what defenses can do to us as far as disguising. For the most part, we're not perfect with it. And my early days there, we were actually just extremely tempo and said screw everything else. Well, now we got a really smart quarterback, so I want to try to use his processing and his knowledge and brain a little bit more to our advantage. So you got to kind of slow down a little bit. So it's kind of balancing that out. And then, of course, situational football, everybody talks about that. And those are important times, the third downs, the red zone and different things. So sometimes you got to slow down, and then it's kind of back and forth with the D coordinator and what they're trying to do. But at the end of the day, I found that you can't lose who you are. I can worry about what they're doing, but at the end of the day, I better make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, running the plays and asking our guys to do things that they're good at and try not to get too far off of who we are. And because you got to have an identity and you got to stick pretty close to that as much as you can so you can execute. So
say things aren't going right in the game. You're just having trouble moving the ball. Is it hard to stay patient with your play calling? As maybe a casual fan who watches TV of our favorite team on the NFL or whatever, throw the ball. Is it hard to stay patient with your play calling?
I think we've done a good job through the years for the most part. Obviously, there's times that you feel like you can be better and whatnot. But I think having a good staff has really helped me guys that I can trust and bounce things off of in between drives as you prepare for the next one, and really having a good level head of what you're trying to get accomplished. And like you said, not becoming too impatient and trying to do things that going into the game wasn't going to be in your best interest if you wanted to have a chance to be successful. So having guys around you that can continue to, keep your goals and your game plan in mind while still trying to adjust and do different things. So that back to just having good people, we have good coaches on our staff, and in my room in particular, really trust those guys. And they're a little younger than most. Last season was a little bit, as we went in the season, a little bit unnerving. We have 5 full-time guys on offense, and me as one of those 5. So really I have 4 other full-time guys. One guy came with me when I got there. He came with me from D2 where I was. And the other 3 guys, it was their first year as full-time.
Oh, wow.
As full-time coaches last season. And so I was a little bit nervous about that, but man, they crushed it. And then this year, the same staff held over this year. And again, it didn't go the way we really wanted it to, but they did a great job, and they will continue to, help us get back on track. But it's hard, sometimes it's hard because, you want to be successful and things aren't going well. You just got to kind of like Coach Tuke likes to say, press the pause button and evaluate, like, why are things not going well right now? All right. And what can we do about it? And try to take the simple approach, because at the end of the day, I tell my guys all the time, like, listen, guys, it's just football. It's not brain surgery. Right. You're not going out and curing world hunger or anything. We're playing football. So don't act like it's bigger than it is. Like, let's just figure it out, relax, and let's go get it done. So we've been fortunate, and we got to get better. So
you talk about playing fast at times. Is ball control and clock management part of your strategy, or are you just trying to score, move the ball down the field?
Trying to score and not turn it over. So whatever the hell I can do to get that accomplished is what I'm trying to do. If that means we got to go fast, let's go fast. Now, I will say this, that I am pretty proud of the fact that Coach Tuke, through the 6 years I've been here, hasn't really came to me and like, man, you got to slow down. Like, you got to start running more, or you got to do this or that to help us win. Because I really do believe, like, I'm a team guy. And as the game starts to unfold, being a former head coach, now it was just high school, but being in charge of the offense, you have the ability to, like you said, control the clock a little bit at times, slow the game down a little bit because our defense is doing well. So I've been proud of seeing how the game's unfolding, how the defense is playing, and we're controlling the game overall and not trying to get too far outside the box and start turning the ball over and doing different things that could let the team back in. And at the end of the day, we just have a bunch of guys that want to win, and we're willing to do whatever it takes. If it means our stats aren't through the roof because we're slowing down, then that's what it is, as long as we win. But we start the game every game, hey, we got to score, and we can't turn it over. And then we'll just figure it out as the game goes on.
Is a little bit of that risk management on your part?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Like, you start slinging around a lot.
Good things and bad things might happen, right?
Every time a ball's in the air, there's a couple things that can happen, and some of them aren't very good. So we really preach ball security here, and everybody obviously does that. But every single practice, we're doing ball security drills, and some interceptions are going to happen. But I was very proud of Paxton up until he got hurt. Like, there wasn't too many times where the ball was in a situation where it even could potentially get picked. Like, he wasn't throwing it into double coverage. He was placing the ball well, and he was really having a great season. And so I was very proud of him of that. And then we weren't putting the ball on the ground. Now, as the season unfolded, the last few games, we did turn the ball over, and that's something that we will address, and it won't sit well with us, and we've got to get back to work on that. So, at the end of the day, don't turn it over and score points however you can. That's where we're at, and we'll figure it out as the game goes on.
They say never to make your hobby your career. I know you mentioned off the jump that we're buddies, have been pals for a long time. And I know you as a football guy. And a football guy when you see a football guy, like, oh, that's a football guy. living in the world where it's like 24/7 for you, other than your family, of course, and other things in your life, do you enjoy it still? Are you able to enjoy it like maybe you used to?
I don't watch it as much maybe as I did when I was younger, just because, Sundays, for instance, NFL games, that's our big work day. So we're in the office up until, 7 at night, 6 or 7 at night. But, it's fun to create these relationships through the years with different college coaches, and then they move on or you move on, and then they spread out through the country, and then keeping up with them and how they're doing, and, shooting them texts and different things, and they're keeping up with you. So I think that's as fun as anything, just to keep up with your buddies and see how they're doing and rooting for them and stuff on Saturdays. But yeah, I still love the game, man. I get fired up, and now I have a son that's an 8th grader. That'll be a high school next year, and he loves football, and a younger son that's a 5th grader that's played flag football this year and loved it and stuff. And it's just seeing the excitement of that and seeing how they are starting to view football kind of gets me going as well. So, I love football. We're a football family. Last night, my wife and I, we went to dinner, and we sat down at a place by the TV so we could watch watch the first quarter of the Chiefs and Eagles game. Went to Walmart and got back so we could watch the second half, and the whole family laying in bed watching, with the kids and all. So, yeah, we love football. I love football, and it's just at the end of the year, it's been a long fall. I just appreciate my family so much, just because I'm away from them so much during the fall, and my wife running around all over the place and sacrificing, her lifestyle and everything, so I can go do what I love to do. And I can't say enough about them and how much I love them, and I thank them for all that. So, but we are a football family, and I guess that's just who we are right now.
And a coach's life isn't easy. You talk about having all these friends, and they're here, there, and everywhere, and having opportunities to take different jobs and move across the country. And at one point you were out in Colorado, right, and away from your mom or whoever it might be, right. And I know your family always comes first and foremost, but it seems like you found a home in the SEMO Cape area.
Yeah, I love the area. Obviously, I played there, went to school there, and a lot of great things there, but just love who I work for and work with right now. So that makes it easy to go in to work. And then our players, love those guys. It's just easy to go into work. I have fun. I'm excited about getting up in the morning and going in most days. There's always a good day or two, and then my family I think they really are enjoying where they are right now. The kids in the school district and their friends and all the different things that they're involved with, and my wife and her Bible study and her group of friends there. And, we are about an hour and a half away from grandmas and aunts and uncles and different things like that. So it is different than, when we were in Colorado. We were, 20 hours away. And, at that time in our life, the kids were younger, and I do value that time, because what it did was it really galvanized our family, our immediate family. Like, we didn't have anybody else. We didn't have babysitters. We didn't have this or that. Like, it was us against the world type of thing. And they were in the age where, they were figuring out life, and different things. And it was just a great time, because it was uncomfortable, and we had each other, and that was it. And then once we moved back here, I still feel like we've got that relationship, but now we've got different opportunities with family and friends and whatnot. But we still can, rally back together, and we know the bond that we have. And so just loving life right now, really. It's awesome. No complaints.
How's coaching at the college level different? You mentioned being a head coach at North County, your alma mater, mine as well. How is it different from coaching high school kids?
Well, the first thing is the parents. The only time I'm talking to the parents now is I'm telling them how good the kid is, because we're recruiting them. And in high school, you're dealing with different things that come up that may be unfair, but just the way that life is. So I think that's the first thing I always mention. But as far as dealing with the kids are kids. Kids are kids. Now, these guys in college, they're generally more dedicated, like this is who they are. And that could be bad sometimes, because their identity is wrapped up in that. You could probably go off the wormhole there talking about that. But generally, they're a little bit more dedicated, not always. And there's obviously plenty of guys in high school that are dedicated, but you got a bigger piece there that are. But they're still knuckleheads. I mean, they're still, a lot of them still teenagers, 18, 19, teenager, 20, 21 are still morons, just like 18, 19. So at the end of the day, it's a great opportunity for me to, give some guidance to young men and be there for them when life is tough. College years are tough for some guys, for some people, for a lot of people, hell. And so just being a steady figure that they can trust, that they know that I'm always going to be honest with them, even if they don't like what I have to say, but I'm always going to be honest and tell them the truth and give them my advice and be there to listen if they need to speak. So it's still a great opportunity. Both are just to be a mentor, basically, to guys and be there. And then at the end of the day, still it's football and working out and life lessons through the game and all these different situations that come up that you value as you get older.
We were kind of joking off air. It's sort of, even haven't seen you in a while, but like I said, we grew up together. It feels like I'm 16 still, but we're in our 40s now, and you're coaching kids that are 18 years old. How do you try to stay relevant to them? Do you listen to their music? Do you try to stay hip on the lingo, or what makes you, are you the old man now?
I am the old man. And actually my shtick is a little bit like making fun of the music and stuff that is relevant. And I get some laughs out of it, just, playing that role. But I guess I know some of the lingo and the music just because I'm around it, but I don't know half of what is being said.
Right.
And I play it up sometimes too, just because they get a laugh out of it. But yeah, it's funny. I'm definitely the old guy though, and I don't know how that happened. I just turned around one day and here I am. So even with our staff, they're all late 20s, early 30s, and I'm 40 in here, 41 or whatever I am now. But yeah, man, I'm starting to get some gray hair and stuff, and seeing if I can walk without a limp most days. So
yeah, so I do the same thing, but with my own kids, right? Because they come around with the bussin' and the no cap and all these phrases, and I just play into the dad joke as much as possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I make terrible dad jokes on purpose, but
right.
I kind of like them too. So it is what it is. But guys get a kick out of it.
Can't let you get out of here without going back to the glory days a little bit. We were lucky enough to be a part of some really great high school teams and played with some guys that were pretty good.
Yeah.
You were the started quarterback from sophomore to senior year, right?
Yep.
And when you think back about those times, what do you think? Do you obviously you probably fondly remember those times, except for the championship, right? But are those times special to you, and why?
Oh man, they are special. I think high school football is just it's in its own atmosphere, its own stratosphere. Like college football is awesome. We tell our recruits all the time, what we're trying to get built here at SEMO is what you have had at high school. We're trying to get guys that love each other, that know everything about each other, that are going to be there for each other through thick and thin, and go out and play for each other. That's what we're trying to build there. And it's hard in college because you get guys from all walks of life and different things. But that's what we try to do. High school is just so awesome because it's all these dudes that just, everything about everybody. You grew up with them, the good stuff, the bad stuff, and everything in between. And they're just your guys, man. They're just, they're just your guys. It's different. And so those memories are, I don't get a chance to talk about that enough probably, or hardly ever. Just I don't get back here enough and talk to guys, but awesome times. And, the football piece is awesome. And I think about all those sometimes, but it's really all about the camaraderie. It's all about your guys and, the silly things you did and said, out in the huddle on the field and on the sideline and at everyone's house when 6 guys are crashing over on a Saturday night, and when you're running, just all the stuff that comes with it, right? And that's what is so special. And even if you're not close with those guys to this day, like you can walk in here on some random Tuesday afternoon and just like you never left, because it's just it's a deep friendships and stuff deep inside, and it's special. And that's why I think a lot of it stems from from high school football, and it just gives you those opportunities to be around guys and do something special together, and it just brings guys together.
You mentioned something that maybe I haven't really even thought about. It was more about the relationships than it really was the football. The football was great, right? Like knocking people, and winning games, and especially the success that we had back then. But man, I just remember we'd go to practice, and then we'd go to your house or my house or somebody else, and we'd just hang out all the time, and then we'd go to school, and then we'd go to practice, and it was like wash, repeat, rinse kind of thing.
It was awesome. No cares in the world except, hey, let's play good when we're out there, and then let's go have fun, and how much can we laugh, and how many dumb things can we do, and
there was a lot,
and trying to get hurt doing it, and just those things like I can remember, walking up to the line and looking over, and you're, before the snap, throwing up through the face mask, and just laughing.
That one time that happened?
Yeah, the one time.
No.
Every
game.
Yeah. And just laughing about that, and just playing through it, and then being proud of your buddy that's doing that because he keeps going, and, getting in the huddle at Farmington and rapping and singing and doing stupid stuff it's fun. Those are the things that you remember just as much as throwing and blocking and all those things. But man, great times and good people, and learned a lot, and thankful for those memories.
Me too. And I think it's helped my life. I think I learned a lot during those times, maybe more than I gave it credit for. It kind of sounds cliche, but hard work and friendship and being there for somebody and people depending on you and you trying your best, whether it was good, perfect, ugly, whatever, still trying your best. And then, seeing that sometimes come to success and winning games and being a part of a special program. Obviously, the coaches that we had back then, to me, I hold a special place for them in my heart. Coach Haug, Coach Aubuchon, Coach Lodes, Coach Easter, and then several others. Even going back to Coach Pope and Coach Eggers.
Yeah. Some of those guys still reach out. Coach Pope just reached out to me like 2 weeks ago, just checking in, see how I'm doing. I literally just came from Coach Aubuchon's house. Now, he's my brother-in-law, so that's a little bit different there. But yeah, those guys, we learned so much through those years and times, but I don't know if I appreciated or even acknowledged it until now I'm on the other side as a coach. And now it's like, dang, here's an opportunity that I can help this young man or this team here. We're going through this tough time. Now how do you relate that to life? How can you help this young person grow as a man? And then it's like, dang, I sat there in that same seat 20 years ago.
Right.
And some guy was telling me the same thing, and just, how much of that stuff stuck with me, and just, that's why I love football. It goes back to, are you excited about football? I love football, and then what football does for people, for young men in particular. Like it's a special place if you get it right. Some people abuse it and do different things and can, go crazy with it. But if it's done right, man, it is a special thing.
I want to acknowledge, and I don't think it gets talked about. I don't know if it gets talked about at all anymore. We're old dinosaurs, right? But you grew up and we were in a small town, and you were the star quarterback. Right, and everybody knew you, and everybody was like, looking to the future, and this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And I think sometimes when that happens, people can start to feel maybe a little entitled, or like you're talking about, like diva, right? And you never had that sense about you. I think probably what a lot of people didn't see was all the hard work you put into it, your leadership skills, even at a young age, because I'm a year older than you. Yeah. So you were my quarterback when I was a junior, you were a sophomore, and to be able to command a huddle, but not in the way that you maybe see in the movies of like yelling at guys, just a calm presence about you. Hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to march down the field and make this touch, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure you fully ever were recognized for that, for the hard work that you put into it, for the dedication that you did. I remember seeing you watch tape even at a young age, and we talk about going to practice. Well, then sometimes we'd go home and play football, or we'd go home and just play, pick up basketball or whatever it was. So it was like, it wasn't something that you would turn on when it was convenient and then turn off when it was like the lights weren't on you, right? And I don't know if people talked about that enough.
Well, I appreciate it. First off, that's very nice if you say that stuff. And I don't know. I was around a lot of good mentors and leaders. Coach Haug kind of took me in, right out of 8th grade, and met with him, multiple days a week before school started about football and trying to teach me the game. And his just being a man, and his life lessons rubbed off of me. And then, like I said, Coach Abishon's my brother-in-law, so I spent a ton of time around him, and I didn't want to disappoint those guys. And at the end of the day, I think I just loved winning. I'm a competitor, and I love my teammates. So I don't know what it was, but I just appreciate all those people feeding into my life, and we were able to do some fun stuff, and I was ecstatic to be a part of that. And like I said, now kind of on the other side, trying to help guys reach their full potential and have moments like that as well. And it's a lot of fun. And that's why I'm just, like I said, loving life right now, and really excited about the off season right now for us. I'm excited about getting back to work. And you don't hear people say that a lot. And so that's why, like, I'm excited to get back to work. And, so it makes me feel good about where I am.
And I think that's why I wanted to bring it up, is that I think it's carried over into your coaching career. I mean, obviously there's been a lot of success there, but I'm sure you put in the work. I'm sure you're committed. I'm sure you're dedicated to what you're doing. And I think it's a good point of like not letting other people down. Yeah. Because, I'm a shorter guy. I wasn't made, my body type wasn't made for the NFL, but you got most of what I had because I didn't want to let other people down either. Right? Because it was that brotherhood, it was that bond, and it was that commitment to the team.
Yeah.
Team first more than anything.
Well, first off, you could be a badass NFL fullback.
Oh, yeah. That's
that body type right there. But I tell you about not letting people down now, it's a whole nother thing with being a father and being a husband. When I left high school to take a college job at a D2 school in Colorado making nothing, my wife sacrificed and went back to work, and our kids sacrificed not being around family and doing all this just because Dad had this dream. And you talk about not want to let people down. I get out there to D2, and I don't want to. I'll do anything not to let those people down in my life. And it's just kind of snowballed, and that's why I have such a fire for them. And obviously, hopefully all husbands and fathers have that same passion for their family. But man, I love them, and they sacrifice so much for me. I just don't want to let them down, and because they're looking for me to make sure that we're successful, and we provide for what they want to do and all those type of things.
And I'm the same way. And that's why I think, football lessons carry over to life. And we need to shout out Sarah and Julie.
Yeah. Getting emotional in here.
And Penny and Carol and Sonia and Nicole, all the old homies.
Yeah.
Joined here with Coach Jeromy McDowell, offensive coordinator of Southeast Missouri State Redhawks. We're in the off season now, quotes, right?
Yep.
But we're going to kick it back up next year. Glad to have you in today, man. Like I said, just hadn't seen you in a little bit, and I wanted to talk a little football with you. So thanks for coming in.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. And, I love you and the family, and I'm really excited about where all this stuff goes for you guys, and definitely a fan.
Go to semoathletics.org.
Well, I think it's gosoutheast.com.
There it is right there.
For athletics. Yeah, let's go.
All right. Thanks, Jeromy.
Yep.